But like I was saying, like, a like button without a dislike button, well, they didn't remove the dislike button, but they did remove the purpose behind it, and that's, you know, just as bad. It essentially just serves the same purpose as a view count. It's basically just a number that you just get up to, like, increase your, to, like, reinforce your ego or something. Like, it's really just an empty number that doesn't really mean anything. We want to hear your opinion, unless... Dude, that is so fucking stupid. Like I found that, I found that one window that pops up if you're, like, signed out. Like, there's a window that pops up and says, "Sign in to make your voice matter." Well, your voice doesn't matter anymore. I mean, people should be allowed to say whatever they want, just so long as you're just screaming into the void and nobody can hear you. Because, like, negative opinions make people feel bad, and we don't want people to feel bad, so... But this is a free speech zone. Then we'll cut out your vocal cords. And, you know, that's, you know, so many people are, you know, despite YouTube coming out and saying, "Oh, we're here to protect creators." It's like, dude, it's like, nobody believes them. Like, that's why so many people are saying that YouTube is only doing this to, like, just to make themselves look good for, like, investors and shit. Man, fuck your feelings. Yeah, fuck your feelings. They're too negative, man. No, we're a positive community. We're all inclusive and welcoming. No negativity. Fuck you. That's a bannable offense. Don't express how you truly feel about something if it's not positive. But yeah, man. Like, dude, our world's going to shit. We're virtually, like, getting ready to enter, like, a real-life 1984, I'm telling you. Where it'll eventually be considered, like an illegal crime to say anything negative about shit. It's stupid we can't see it. And you know, it's unfortunate. Like I've seen plenty of, like, Google extensions trying to bring back the dislike ratio, but one, they're not 100% reliable. Like, sometimes you have to, like, reload the page to get them to load up. And for some people, it doesn't even work at all. And two, I think it's only a matter of time before Google, you know, swats those extensions down. Like, they really don't want people to... They really don't want people to, like, know if something is bad or not, because bad is associated with feeling like shit. We can't say, but the person that put it up the video can, so it doesn't even shelter their snowflake ash. But the thing is, like even then, they still have to, like, look for the dislike number. So what they can essentially just do is just keep uploading video after video after video, and then just not even look at the dislike number if they don't want to. See, the reason why it was important for the dislikes to just be out there open in the public is so they can't hide from dislikes. You know, dislikes are supposed to be, you know, some, like, wake-up call. Like, if your video gets dislike bombed, like, it's supposed to be, like, a sign to, like, put on the emergency brakes and figure out exactly where you went wrong. Without that... Like, how the hell are you even supposed to express your discontent with something? You can't rely on the comments either, because, you know, content creators can easily just delete negative-sounding comments because they believe the dislike mob bullshit. Exactly! Like, dude, I really don't think the dislike mob thing is really as big of a problem as they want us to believe it is. Like, there had to have been, like, a more salient reason to disable dislikes. This was just not a good enough reason, man. Dislike mobs are only for if you really fuck up, but even then, that's rare. You know, case in point, the YouTube Rewind 2018 video. And even most recently, the announcement video that they were disabling dislikes. Like, look at how many dislikes it has. Like, nobody wants this. This is not a good idea. Like, this can only ever damage small creators mentally in the long term. Sure, it might only help a few people in the short term. And I think you can agree that, you know, just disliking something just for the sake of a game, it's kind of a shitty thing to do. But is the problem really so big that everybody had to suffer just to fix that one tiny little problem? Like, that doesn't sound fair. I mean, it would be one thing. Goddamn, what the hell are we now? Like, it would be one thing if the ability to hide dislikes was optional and it was something that you could like opt in or out of. I can only think of 5 videos that had dislike mobs on them, and only 3 were YouTube. Oh my god, really? Yeah, I can't think of any. Like, the grand majority of, quote, content creators, unquote, that get dislike bombed on a regular basis are primarily, you know, news channels like Fox News and fucking CNN and such. And I think that's partly why a lot of people think that they just have, you know, those channels in mind, because they're the ones who suffer from it the most. And they have the nerve to say that they have the fucking nerve to say that we have the small creators' interest in mind. YouTube is oh my god, yeah, YouTube has become, Yasmin, YouTube has become such a radically different beast than it was, like, all those years ago. And, like, even the original creator of YouTube, the guy who uploaded, you know, the first YouTube video ever, Me at the Zoo, he went to that video and he changed the description of that video to express his discontent for this change. And you know what? I think he's on the nose. You know, in order for there to be great videos, YouTube needs to have some shit videos. And people need to be able to, like, express to people what videos are shit or not. You know, without that, like, it'll hardly matter. Like, the like button won't even have a purpose. Like, what the hell is even the point of being entitled to your opinion, then? And they bring in it does, man. Small creators in mind, remember when they put ads on their videos and the creators don't get... Oh, absolutely, dude. And that's another reason why I encourage people to turn on ad blocker or uBlock Origin, because, like, ad revenue, like creators don't get shit from ad revenue. And, you know, we've given these guys, like, every, like, argument in the book, telling, you know, trying to explain to them exactly why this is not a good idea. But the thing is, like, they announced this change, like, months ago. Like, they said months ago that they were just playing around with the idea, but, like, let's just be real. They announced it, like, months ago, and we have given them, like, virtually every argument in the book as to why this is a bad idea. But, you know, they don't care, man. Now, has anybody ever actually brought forth evidence supporting the idea? You know, backing up the claim that likes and dislikes affect your discoverability in the algorithm? I mean, I know that that's a very common argument that they bring up, but, like, I haven't really seen any evidence of it. Like, I thought that discoverability relied more on watch time. You know, a video can get, like, dislike bombed and still, like, be pretty damn infamous. So, like, I'm not entirely sure, you know, just how much weight that claim holds. YouTube is the fallen website of the early to mid-late 2000s. and the early 2010s that fell so that it's not even I know, right? And it sucks because, you know, sometimes YouTube would present a, they would present a pretty good idea every now and then. Like, holy shit, like, do you guys remember fucking annotations? I loved annotations because, like, you could place links anywhere in your video. You could add, like, notes after your video is uploaded. That way you're not having to, like, remake the entire thing just to change this one tiny little thing. Oh, man. And God, remember fucking video responses? Like, why would they remove these ideas? I mean, I know that annotations didn't work very well on, like, mobile websites, but I didn't think that was a good enough reason to just get rid of them altogether. In exchange for, like, the ending, thumbnail sequence. I mean, which is already a good idea in and of itself, but why did they have to get rid of annotations in exchange? You know, as long as YouTube continues to believe that they're doing this for, like, the small creators, never gonna change their mind. Like, whatever small creators they think they're protecting, like I haven't seen, and protect them from what? From, like, a negative opinion? Like they haven't even really brought forth any evidence backing up their claims. Like, what small creators? And, like, doesn't context matter? And what the hell does view count have anything to do with it? Like when they were trying to answer the question, how are we supposed to know if a video is bad or not? Well, they'll watch the video regardless of the like, dude, it doesn't matter if it affects the fucking viewership. Like, yeah, okay, for most videos, like, people will watch a video anyway regardless of the like to dislikes. Annotations didn't work at all on mobile, and they were mostly used for click-to-next videos, so having something that worked on both versions did make sense. Yeah, like, I do agree with that, but I'm sure, like, there could have been some way to make the annotations work on mobile. Like, even if you do feel like shit for, like, making a bad video and your people tell you about it, you know, like, the misery is only temporary. Like, you look back at it and you think, you know what? You just look back in your video and you think, yeah, I can understand why people weren't entirely, you know, they didn't really like this video. You know, it's supposed to be, like, a sign to look back on, like, a potential mistake that you might have made. You know, dislikes are supposed to make us stronger as individuals. That's what makes us human. You know, we need to be able to recognize that we made a mistake. Yeah, they will either make it or quit, nothing more to it. Which is exactly why, in fact, you know, another thing, like, when I was in the Little Big Planet community, something similar happened. Little Big Planet 2 gave you the ability to like and dislike levels. Like, either, I think it only gave you that ability after you played it. But, like, then a patch came out where where they removed the ability to dislike buttons. Like, they didn't remove the ratio. They didn't just remove the ratio. They removed the button altogether. And the community just went to absolute shit. Like, not too long afterwards. Because everyone got so enamored with blind positivity. And that's part of the reason why I left. Because I just couldn't stand seeing the community devolve. And I'm afraid that the same thing's gonna happen here with, like, people who regularly watch YouTube. Like, this can only ever hurt in the long term. I feel nowadays people see other people as the problem, not exactly. And in fact, that's, you know, one of the things that I try to do, like more recently, is that I always try to look at myself first before pinning the blame on somebody else. Like, if somebody, like, misinterprets a message of mine, then that means I didn't use the right words to get my point across. So I have to try to, like, clarify myself. A lot of people make the very common mistake of assuming that it's the other person's fault. But that's only really because, like, it's not really obvious. It's not as obvious to them who's really at fault. Who's really at fault here. So that's why, and because of how primal of a species we still are, you know, it's really easy for us to just keep pointing the fingers. To keep pointing the finger at the other person. You know, it's so unfortunate that so many people, there aren't really a whole lot of people who don't really know how to, like, give others the benefit of the doubt. It's crazy, man. It's crazy to think, like, it's scary to think about. Like, we are getting to a point now where it's practically, we're going to get to a point where it's practically criminal to express any kind of controversial opinion at all. It's because, you know, like, even if it's something like absolutely, like, out of whack, like, I don't know, like, all black people deserve to die or something. Something like that, even. You know, even if they have a crazy-ass opinion like that, they have a reason for believing something like that. And I want to know, like, what those reasons are. Like, it's so easy to just look at, just glorify an opinion, or just put an opinion in the limelight and just say, look, this person said so-and-so. We're clearly more moral than him. Let's cancel that person without even giving him a chance to explain himself. But yeah, that's ultimately, you know, the kind of streams that I want my that's exactly, you know, that's kind of the what's it called? Like, the environment that I want to try to generate with my streams. I want people to feel like they can come here and express how they truly feel without being afraid of being, you know, blocked just because they expressed an opinion at all. Like, the only thing that I really ask is to stay civil. Civility is really the only thing that I require from my channel. And it takes a lot to get me to block somebody. Like, the only reason why I would block somebody is if I just kept giving them warning after warning, and they're still acting like shitheads. But even then, like, most of the time I usually, like, resort to just timeouts, and I increase the time of the timeout, like, after every offense. And after I time them out, like, maybe 3 or 4 times, then I would consider banning them. Like, it takes a lot to push me to the edge. It's not impossible, though. Like, there is, like, a few shortcuts that you can take. Like, if you know me well enough, there are a few buttons you can push. Like, slander, for once. If you do that, you are a man with patience, and I respect. Yeah, thanks, Flash. You know, there really aren't too many people here, at least here on Twitch, that are really willing to hear out, you know, the other side, even if it's something as controversial as the example I stated earlier. Because just blindly blocking people just for expressing an opinion, like, even something like that's, you know, widely considered as hateful as that, I want them to feel like they're being heard here. You know, I mean, people, like, I'm gonna have questions, like, obviously I don't hold that belief, but I want people to, you know, I want people to be able to express their reason, and who knows, like, maybe I'll learn something new. Like, maybe they'll change their mind. Maybe I'll change my mind. Maybe everybody else, like, maybe it'll become the new common belief. We don't know. But we have to have the discussion. If we don't have the discussion, we can't evolve as a species. You know, just blocking people for expressing an opinion? That stifles evolution. We can't learn that way. You know, like, with every discussion that I have with somebody, I always try to learn something new. Like, and the reason I feel that way is because, you know, I've been ostracized by plenty of other groups. Little Big Planet, Critically Lit streams, you know, plenty of people. And now it's pretty much gotten to the point where I'm afraid of expressing how I truly feel about something. Especially in places that are, like, advertised as safe spaces. There has not been a single moment in my life where I felt, quote, safe, unquote, in a safe space. The way I see it, like, safe spaces, like, they only hurt, like, in the long term. They only make people more afraid of the world. We all have, conversational opinions, yet we can't know everything, and stories is the only way to see other sides and understand. Yeah, exactly, man. Because if we just keep shutting people down just because we don't like, you know, the title, like, that's essentially what we're doing. We're judging books by their cover. That's basically what we're doing here. Like, I'm so sick of seeing so many fucking content creators these days so enamored with making their platforms safe for everyone. It's not safe. Like, I don't feel safe. Like, dude. The only safe space that should exist, in my opinion, is therapy. Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it, man. I think you should be put out of his misery, and other competing websites can't rise up because to become the new YouTube. And you know, something like that's kind of impossible at this point, because YouTube already has every single video that we could ever possibly need. Reviews, walkthroughs, commentaries, even news channels like music, video game clips, commentaries, live streams. Like, YouTube has everything. Like, YouTube has become, like, the second most financially successful website of all time, right behind Google. So, like, so we can't just put YouTube out of its misery. Someone has to take over. Someone has to take over YouTube so they can make this website as fucking amazing as it once was all those years ago, man. Like when I say I want people to feel welcome in my streams, I don't have to announce it, man. I have to be able to show it. And I can't just reaffirm them of that fact by just saying, "Oh, I want everyone to feel welcome." No. I have to explain to them exactly what the purpose of my streams are, you know, what I want people to feel comfortable of. And, like, most importantly, I don't want my streams to feel like just anybody can come in and stick around. Like, you can't make a stream that is, you know, safe for everyone. Well, I use the term safe, but even I don't really know what that means. You do have the most detailed rules out of everyone I've ever seen. Yeah, and I usually try to explain, because there's just so many words that have too many vague definitions that it's easy for people to misinterpret the speaker. So that's kind of why I try to go in depth right out the gate. Like, so many people have this common belief that it's the short terms, it's the simpler words that are the most straightforward and to the point and gets your message across clearly. But ironically enough, we kind of have this whole thing ass backwards. Like, when you leave out key details, like, it just leaves the possibility that somebody might take you, like misinterpret your words much more. It just makes the possibility way more likely. And we're doing nothing to correct them. Basically, like, the less words and the simpler terms you use, the less clear you are. You're not being straightforward. You're not getting to the point. You're not giving your viewers the appropriate verbal cues to properly articulate your message. So that's what I want to try to avoid. You know, I want people to, I want to make sure that people know what they're getting into. And in order to do that, I have to go in depth. And I have to do it, like, the first time through. That way I'm not constantly having to, explain myself. That's on me. That's on the streamer. To make sure that their message gets across. Like, no religion rule, what do you mean? Like, oh yeah, no religion. Okay, yeah, that's something I need to go in depth. What do you mean by that? Like, I can't talk about, like, any god. I can't try to convert people. And I don't think, like, as far as religion goes, I don't think it necessarily has to be about, like, you know, unseeable deities. Like, it could be, like, about, like, maybe anybody. Like somebody could read that and they could interpret that as being, oh, so I can't, like, express, like, my loyalty to anybody at all, let alone any god? Can't try to convert people. I can't talk about my day that happened to involve my place of worship. Yeah, stuff like that. Okay, so yeah, something like that. I kind of need to update that rule, because I think I just have it where I just say no politics or religion. But the thing is, like, wait, maybe I don't. And hell, even politics. You know, like, you know, as far as politics goes, I think I can just fly out of here, right? So, yeah, I have to come here. I think I can come right here. Because, like, at, like, its rawest form, what is politics? Politics is basically the act of making decisions that apply to every person in a group. It's just that, you know, the group in question, people commonly think of, you know, society. But it doesn't always have to pertain to society. It could pertain to, like, every person in, say, like, a Discord server, or like what YouTube's doing with their dislikes. It could pertain to everybody who uses YouTube. You know, that's a form of politics. You know, it doesn't always have to be just society as a whole. You know, it doesn't always have to involve, you know, Donald J. Trump. It doesn't have to involve, you know, any kind of congressmen or presidents or whatever. It's just that when people say politics, we commonly think of societal politics. Well, I'm gonna head to bed. Have a good night, negative YouTube, Fox, and Trovo viewers. Yeah, have a good night. Thank you so much for... I'm sorry if I, like, made you feel uncomfortable. Like, I'm, like, with my whole, you know, my whole, like, quote, inclusivity rant, unquote. But, you know, it's just something that I felt like I had to get off my chest. You know, I don't want anybody to feel scared to express an unpopular opinion. So, thank you so much for hearing me out, man. You know, I really needed to get that off my chest, man. Like, even if you are the only person, you and Yasmin are the only ones who, you know, heard my rant, I'm just glad that I finally got it out there in the open. I might cut together a highlight of this whole thing because, you know, I kind of want to try to immortalize this, you know, so I'm not having to repeat myself. Yeah, thank you. It's cool, I agreed with a lot of stuff. Yeah, thanks, Flash. Thank you so much. You know, I'm glad that you've become a... I know it sounds selfish, but... You know, I really try to, you know, I really want to try to get to know people. And it just feels so reassuring that I can, you know, that I can talk to somebody who's, you know, very like-minded with me. Because it's gotten to the point now where I've just become so afraid of expressing how I truly feel about certain things. So, I'm so, like, dude, I am so grateful. I'm so grateful that you and I found each other, man. I really am. You know, I actually feel much better, at least in the short term, now that I got all that out. I don't know what it's going to mean for me in the long term. It's probably going to make me significantly worse. But you know what, man? Like I said, when push comes to shove, you know, there comes a time where you just kind of have to stop giving a shit, man. Because it's doing too much, you know, damage to your mental health. But, you know, I'm no stranger. Like, one could even argue that I'm a stranger to popular opinions. Like, you'd think that I'd be used to it by now. Like, so many people saying that I only have, like, specific opinions just for clout. And, you know, that kind of goes back into, you know, my rant, but that's a story for another time. But yeah, man, it just goes to show just how tough being open-minded really can be.